Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and coming out of absolutely nowhere like a surprise slap in the face, we've got the rare Halo 2 4-on-4 Killtacular, where they banned 4 cards from Commander, and I think 2 of them are going to get you pretty off guard. I am at a loss for why they did 2 of these, but I haven't read their explanation yet. The victims of the banhammer are the very much deserved Nadu Winged Wisdom, Dockside Extortionist, way overdue on that one, and then Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt. That's right, Mana Crypt, but not the One Ring. I kind of get that, but Jeweled Lotus? They finally decided that one went too far? Really? They start the ban article by shouting out a coming up this weekend charity stream to help for cancer research, and it's being held by the Rules Committee and Community of Cardboard, or CCP. Last year they raised over $50,000, and this year they're hoping to top that. I think if they just took all the money they made with the insider trading on Protean Hulk, allegedly, they could double that easy. And they're, of course, doing it in honor of the tragic passing of Sheldon Menery. So they want to start out by explaining their ban philosophy, which, if you aren't familiar, this is not Wizards of the Coast making this ban announcement. It's just a bunch of people from some committee, completely, quote-unquote, separate from WotC. I'm sure the silver-boarded thing was just a coincidence, which actually they're going to get into that. But they say the philosophy of Commander prioritizes creativity, and one of the ways we have historically reflected that is in the rules and the ban list, to encourage a slower pace of game than traditional formats. So this gives decks time and space to develop and do different things. Remember, 99 plus 1 singleton, and it starts with 40 life. Like, that's what they mean. So your win on turn 1 or 2 infinite combo win with the same cards fetchathon trash, not welcome in Commander. I mean, they pretty much just said that. And if you don't think they said that, I'm saying that. I'm calling you an asshole, because you are. You clearly do not understand the point of 40 life 99 plus 1 singleton. It's supposed to play differently every time, and you're supposed to come up with wacky, crazy new ideas with low to mid synergy. So they go on to say, we have a goal to make it easier for players who enjoy slower, more social games to have an environment for them to explore. Commander has always been, or had the potential for someone to get out to a fast start and be the first arch villain in the game. Yeah, if it's multiplayer, we're going to stomp on you. Don't be that guy. But that advantage has been balanced by having multiple players gunning for them once it happens. I didn't know they were going the same direction I was with that, but sure. Then the very next sentence is, in the past few years, comma, this is how you know they're about to throw someone under the bus, because in the last few years, nothing good has happened. That was the setup, here comes the spike, okay? They're already in the air with their hand on the ball. You're about to get beamed in the face by this one. You ready for this? Notably, since Strixhaven School of Mages, we have seen a pattern of stronger mid-game cards that allow the player who skips past the early game to snowball their advantage straight through to the win. Oh, I thought they were going to throw, like, turn 2 combo decks under the bus and OP cards. I guess not. They're still right, though. Occasional games like that are fine, but it shouldn't be common, comma, people playing tokens, you assholes. Tribal tokens. Oh, and elf ball players? Yeah, you can go burn too. We hate you. I'm editorializing this with my own comments just a little bit. So games like this should not be common, and we're taking steps to bring that frequency down a bit by banning 3 of the most explosive plays in the format. Okay, that does make a little more sense when they set it up like that. So Mana Crypt, coming down for no mana on turn 1. It's possible to have the explosive start of Mana Crypt into a Signet, into Talisman, land, whatever you want, another Signet, leaving that player untapping 5 mana on turn 2. Yeah, but with less cards in hand though, but okay, I get them. In games going over 12 turns, the accumulated threat of damage from Mana Crypt provides a reasonable counterbalance for its explosive effect. But when you are snowballing to a turn 6 to 8 win, it's a meaningless drawback. I would have said 3 to 5, but okay. And then they just move straight on, Jeweled Lotus. Another card that can give you 5 mana on turn 2. Yeah, it was a marketing and sales stunt from WotC to just sell a set, obviously. And they're done playing by WotC's games. They're so, like, harsh on them right now. I bet you they didn't even run this by them. I bet you they barely even told them. And I bet you they got some backlash for this. But then again, it's banned. They're done selling the products. Everybody left holding the singles just absolutely lost their ass. And WotC can do it all over again with a different card. I mean, look at some of the basically multiplayer dual lands they've printed lately. So while they do say, okay, another card that can give you 5 mana on turn 2 is Jeweled Lotus, it does it without even needing a good hand. Because remember, Jeweled Lotus says you can only use the 3 mana to cast your commander. So they say, though you're restricted in what you can do with the mana, 4 and 5 mana commanders can pack a significant punch nowadays. Ooh, they threw in the nowadays. Didn't used to be true. Often drawing cards to make up for the one-shot mana. Yeah, card draw commander, exactly. I pointed that out when it was printed. And defensive abilities such as Ward can't be interacted with that early in the game. Yeah, can't even stop them. They don't like Ward, they don't like OP commanders, they don't like the power creep. Neither does anyone. Get rid of this garbage. I completely agree, actually. I'm not surprised that I'm like, whoa, they shouldn't have done this. Where did they get this idea from? I'm just surprised they pulled the trigger on it. Let's not get it twisted. That's why I'm surprised this is on the list. I think it should be. I think there's about 30 more cards that should be on the list. Then we move on to Dockside Extortionist. They wrote a book about this one. Dockside isn't normally quite as explosive in the early game as the other 2 cards, but it can still go mana positive on turn 2 and start generating substantial treasures after that. Yeah, treasures being like a one and done. You'd think the 40 life offsets it. It really doesn't, because you could do some messed up stuff with, every card printed in the game. I think we're at 80-some thousand unique cards, I believe. And I'm not sure if that's like per artwork or per print instance. I think that's like literally unique cards. Let's say a quarter of them are competitive. Yeah. That's a lot of things that can do a lot of things when combined with a lot of other things, to put it very simply. So this card has been on the border for years. They have literally mentioned it by name, and other people in the community have mentioned it, so they're not lying there. And we've shied away from acting in the past because the card has scaled well with the power level of the table. Boy, they're throwing the power creep under the bus, backing it up and just running it back over, and I love it. Really, WotC deserves it. But it's a frequent contributor to the more egregious snowballing starts. So we should also talk about the elephant in the room. We are not banning Sol Ring and have no desire to. Where did that come from? What? Sol Ring is like, if Commander was a card, I guess you could say Command Tower, but like, yeah, nobody likes mana rocks, but what are you going to just have a slightly less efficient mana rock? At least Sol Ring generates useless, just kidding, colorless mana. Yes, based on the criteria we've talked about here, it would be banned. Sol Ring is the iconic card of the format, and it's sufficiently tied to the identity of the format. I didn't read this ahead of time, I just know this much about the game. That it defies the laws of physics in a way that no other card does. Okay, I don't know what they mean there, but it's too classic, it's too legacy to ban. I guess that's what they're getting at. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Banning Sol Ring would fundamentally change the identity of the format. We aren't trying to eliminate all explosive starts. Well, remember, you can only have one Sol Ring in your entire deck. What they need to do is limit fetching. Now, we had a house rule when I played Commander. You cannot fetch for anything but lands in your deck. If something says go get whatever, it better be a land, or you better use it to go get a land, or you're not allowed to play it. Think about how much that improves the game. It is mind-blowing how much you can lower the consistency, up the fun, the crazy, wacky, zany stuff, make people build just like a crazier, weirder deck, draw stuffs, recurring scry. Like, you have to earn it. You can't just, oh, well, I'm going to have this card in 80% of the Commander games because I'm going to go get it. What they should do is not let people go get Sol Ring. All of this artifact fetch crap, get rid of it. But that would fundamentally change the game. That's the kind of fundamental change I can get behind it. It worked just fine in my playgroup, but I guess they're just not ready to make that drastic of a decision, even though they should. Everything they said here agrees with what I'm saying, so hopeful in the future, maybe? So they say, we're not trying to eliminate all explosive starts. It happens every once in a while and is exciting, I guess is what they meant to write. And removing the other 3 cards geometrically reduces the number of hands capable of substantial above-curve mana generation in the first few turns. That is true. They're kind of resetting it a couple years. I mean, yeah, they're right there. They're accurate. There's another ban, and it's explosive, but in a different way. It's like explosive diarrhea by comparison. It's Nadu, Winged Ass Clown. I mean, Winged Wisdom. Ironic naming, considering it was very unwise to design this card. He is now welcome in a grand total of pretty much no formats. Maybe Legacy and Vintage. I don't know. Did they ban him from that yet? I actually think they did. I don't remember. I don't care. So it's hilarious that they actually say he's been ejected from multiple formats at this point. It's no surprise that we took a close look at it for Commander. Sometimes hugely problematic cards in other formats like Oko and Companions are fine for Commander. Exactly, except that you can go fetch him, but that's not the problem. He's legendary in case you're like not looking at the screen and don't remember. So you can just make him your commander. If you had to draw him out of, 92 cards on average, you'll never get him. But if you could just go fetch him, that's why certain cards are problematic. Creature fetch is a lot less prevalent than artifact fetch, though. Keep that in mind. But yeah, you just throw him in as commander. You've got an obnoxious color combination that ramps off the deep end anyway, and just Hydroid Crisis yourself to victory among other cards. Like that green Hydra that's legal right now in Standard. So yeah, he is the problem. So our observations of Nadu suggest its inherent play pattern is going to cause problems. Yes, they let it through testing because they're idiots and don't listen to people and rush to everything, and they just don't put in enough effort, and now they don't have the money or staff to put in enough effort even if they wanted to, so it's going to keep happening. Part of the problem is the way in which Nadu wins, where it takes a really long time to do non-deterministic sequences that can't be shortcut and might eventually fizzle out. Yep, I just come to watch other people play Magic. In fact, Solitaire is my favorite format, as long as I'm not the one playing. These aren't dedicated combo lines that you have to build a deck around. It's just dropping Nadu into a normal, quote-unquote, Simic shell still runs the risk of grinding the game down to a slog of resource accrual. Yes, his recurring, does this do this, and oh no, I ran out, just absolutely unacceptable train wreck of a card. Never should have been approved. The only thing I can even think of that's close that the staff admitted to that had the same, we thought it was good in design, but then it wasn't, is Collected Company. Probably completely fine in Commander, but boy, was that a mistake in Modern and Standard. And they said when they designed it, they thought it would be a gimmick card that only people would play narrowly in a couple decks. They actually thought that. Aaron Forsyth, almost direct paraphrase quote. Absolutely unreal. This one, people were telling them it was problematic and they didn't realize it. When the answer's right there in front of your face, and if you think I'm extrapolating, we had the creator come out and explain Nadu, how it happened, how it was a mistake, and I think they just ran out of time to write what they're going to do to prevent it in the future. So I'm sure that's coming, but they definitely wrote an article on the first 2/3 of what they should have. So I'm not drawing conclusions there. I am literally reporting on statements that the staff made, the designers. So they also say it interacts a little bit too badly with staples of casual play, most notably Lightning Greaves, which, yeah, meaning that decks it gets thrown into without abuse intent can still create a situation where the player is monopolizing all the time in the game. Don't be that guy. That's not an experience we want to risk, so Nadu gets itself another ban. Woo! He's collecting them like Magic the Gathering cards. So now at the very beginning, they said the effective date for tabletop is the 23rd, so today, and Magic Online today at midnight, so get on that, I guess. But they promised us an update on the Silver Border Project and other new initiatives. Now, I have no idea what that is. Hopefully kicking Silver Border cards out of Commander would be nice. So, hopefully quieter updates in the future is what's coming up according to them. We talked in the last update about providing players with better ways to communicate about silver border cards in their deck. That project is going well. What? Just tell them, I've got silver border cards in my deck. Is that okay with this play group? What does that have to be a project? It's a sentence. That project is going well, but isn't quite ready for release. Yeah, what are they, splitting Commander in half? My God. So we're holding off announcing it here. We expect it to be out by the next announcement at the least, or latest. I can read. I still have a concussion. We're working with the folks at Wizards to provide some new tools to use in the pregame conversations to help folks find like-minded players, and are pretty excited about some of the possibilities there. Oh, me too. I've got a couple already in my head. You're going to hear about them next. No promises on a timeline yet, though. Whatever happens, we'll be back with our next update on November 18th. Ooh, that is pretty quick. After the Magic the Gathering Foundations pre-release. Ooh. In the meantime, tune into the charity stream and keep on brewing. That's right. Build your own damn deck. Absolute respect to who wrote this. Who actually wrote this? Oh, it's just attributed to the CCP, the Commander Rules Committee. So, I mean, Wazzy done gone off the deep end. Here's exactly precisely when, in our opinion. Like, you gotta read between the lines, but not very hard. You know what I mean? What's coming up next? Hopefully quieter updates. Hey, the power amp has been nuts. Hey, the card testing has been irresponsible. Like, my God, they really slipped this in on them. Whoever wrote this was like, how can I insult WotC and call them out for their crap that they've been pulling without going too nuts? And then they wrote this masterpiece, so shout out to you guys, even though you're inside trading allegedly dicks. So we're working with the folks at Wizards to provide some new tools to use in pregame conversations to help folks find like-minded players, and they're calling it the Silver Bordered Project. So it's still that controversial, but like, hey, I have silver bordered cards in my deck. Is that okay with you guys? Like, what tools? What the hell tool do you mean? Are they talking about MTGO? You don't need a whole damn tool. I mean, like, is there like a matchmaking commander opponent finder in that stupid app thing that I haven't even bothered to ever use? Literally, it's never been installed on my phone one time. Because that I could see, you know. But, like, I think they're going to go with, like, casual or I'm an asshole. I spent $10,000 on my deck and I'm going to win on turn 2 if I go first. My hobbies enjoy competitive coin flipping and shuffling and wasting my money. Come see me in my $2,000 Honda. Don't act like you don't know the type. I read the comments on the last video. You know the type. Can't wait to see what fresh hell that is, but, wow, I really didn't know silver bordered were that controversial. I mean, some of the silver bordered stuff was only temporarily legal, and then it wasn't. But then isn't there like an acorn, and that's supposed to be like, and then there's like gold bordered? I already lost track of what any of this crap means. All I know is people really don't want stickers stuck on their damn cards, and stickers are still canon and legal. So, thank God the game has an infinite supply of them. Oh wait, they screwed that up too. This is not investment advice, but you know, if they don't ban it, I would maybe buy up a couple hundred. You know, how many could really exist, right? Well, anyway, thanks for watching this very interesting, dramatic news story and ban. Oh my gosh. All I can say on the way out is welcome to Costco. I love you.